It's that time again. What time? Worth the calories time. We've got a right mix for this one. There we go. I'm not going to say any more. Let's get straight into it. I think we've got 5, maybe 6 different foods. Can't quite remember. And yeah, as always, let's see if they are worth the calories. Right, we're going to start off this episode with a high protein afternoon snack. But today, we are not going for the usual protein shake. We are on Schneider Brot Protein Bread. Now, I put a picture of this stuff on my social media week or so ago, and I got loads of different comments. I got a lot of education, to be honest with you. I got a lot of people saying, that's from this country, that's from that country. It's like rye bread, if you've ever had that. And I was like, yes, I've had rye bread. And then I got one comment saying that is pumpernickel bread. I have no idea why someone has decided to call it protein bread. Anyway, I did a little Google of that and they were right. It was pumpernickel bread, or very, very similar. Anyway, there we go. Okay. Here we have it. Excuse if you can hear the dogs are drinking themselves to death in the background. Only because we've just come back from being on a walk. Anyway, yes. Here it is. It smells good. It is really, really dense. Loads of seeds in it. Yeah, it smells meaty. Someone did say it was similar to like a savoury malt loaf. And just from feeling that, I kind of get that, right? So it's 130 calories a slice for 11 grams of protein. All right, let's go in. I'm going to have a bite of it as it is. We're going bareback, okay? Definitely get that savoury malt loaf texture. Really chewy. It's kind of, yeah, exactly. It's actually what I expect it to be like. I have had rye bread in America this year, actually, when I went to like a Jewish deli and got a pastrami sandwich. I would say this is thick, like denser, drier, maybe. Anyway, I've tried it bareback. Now I'm going to try it with 4 ton of butter on it. With butter on it. I like it. I do. It's all right. I didn't expect to. I do like it. Now, a lot of people said it's good toasted. So dry, like bareback as I called it. Not for me, really. Bit of butter on it. I like anything with butter on it. It took it up a level. A lot of people said toast it. So let's bung it in the toaster and see what that's like. All right, here we are. Toasted to perfection. Oh, it's hot. So I'm going to try it dry again. Toasted. That has brought out the flavour in it. But for me, not in a massively positive way. And then we're going to try it toasted with a bit of butter on it. Right, we've tried it 4 different ways. What is my overall thoughts? Okay, non-toasted with butter on, it's all right. Toasted with butter on is definitely the best way to eat it. And I'll just put 2 thumbs up there. That doesn't mean it's worth the calories just yet. Yeah, that is definitely the best way to eat it. And I'll be honest with you, actually, I quite like it toasted just with butter on. It does have that kind of savoury malt loaf flavour. Yeah, dry, not good. Dry, like non-toasted, sorry, not good. Dry, non-toasted with butter on. It's better with butter, but butter does make everything better. If you're going to buy this and think it's a bread and you're going to make a sandwich out of it, you're really not. But as the picture shows here, toasted, maybe a little bit of cream cheese, something like that on, and a little bit of ham or a bit of smoked salmon. Yeah, I kind of get it. For me personally, The macros are great. I've got to judge this on whether I would buy that again. And in terms of a high protein bread sauce, I'd go for Jason's sourdough. I have done that in a previous worth of calories video, which is pretty much the same macros as that. But for me personally, a much nicer bread option and a much more versatile bread option. I'd actually only ever eat this probably, just toasted with a butter on, with a bit of butter on. Possibly might even try a little bit of jam on it as a breakfast option. Other than that, I'm not that bothered about it. And it's not the worst thing. I went into it open-minded. It's certainly not as bad as people were making out on social media. And like I say, toasted with a bit of butter on it, it's nice. Macros are really good. The honest truth is, am I going to go out and buy this again? Not when, I didn't say this, this is £1.56 for this packet. And you literally only get 5 slices. So yeah, it's pretty expensive. It's not versatile enough for me. It's not the worst thing I've ever eaten, but yeah, I'm not going to buy it again. So on that count, if you want a high protein bread option, go for Jason's sourdough. And the Schneider Brot Protein Bread, sorry to say, is a thumbs down. So it's now breakfast time on this episode of Worth the Calories. And we've been to M&S. Well, I haven't been to M&S. The wife's been to M&S. And we have got raspberry overnight wheat bisques and apple crumble overnight oats with protein very clearly labelled. Now, I have scanned these into NutriCheck, and actually I'm a little bit disappointed in terms of protein to calorie ratio for both of them, if I'm being honest. When it's a main meal, I like 0.7 grams of protein. I do class this as a main meal, quick, convenient breakfast. 0.7 grams of protein per 10 calories. This badger is, I've actually got it in on my NutriCheck here as half, because I'm just going to have half. But let me work it out. 228 calories for your 15 grams of protein. So that protein to calorie ratio ain't the best. This badger, which is what I'm actually most excited about, is 320 calories for actually 18.6 grams of protein. So again, protein to calorie ratio ain't great at all. You do get 6.4 grams of fibre in this one though, just 2.8 in this one, which isn't terrible, but a bit lower in fibre. So this is, much lower in calories than this one. And to be honest with you, in terms of protein to calorie ratio, this one is better than this one. But anyway, at the end of the day, sometimes it's not always about that. I'm like, I need a spoon. Don't know why. It's in my pocket. Here we go. Protein's important, fiber's important because we want to be full. Yeah. Volume's important. So these weigh 200 grams. The volume's not massive, but it's not bad. And of course, taste is important. Cost, I don't know. I didn't buy them, but they're M&S. So they ain't going to be cheap, are they? Right. Anyway, I'm going to go in for the raspberry wheat bisque one first because wheat bisques, it's basically like the overnight wheat bisques sort of trend that came on social media a bit ago. This is kind of the one I'm least excited about. It looks a bit like a cheesecake. I'm assuming it doesn't taste like a cheesecake. Anyway, let's get a bit of everything. We've got a bit of a lot. I'm taking my time. The yogurt definitely isn't. I've not looked at the other nutritional information, to be honest with you. The yogurt doesn't taste like it's a low-fat yogurt, but I think it is. The raspberry's quite bitter. Not bitter. It's just got a good raspberry taste. It's not very sweet at all, if I'm being honest with you. And I would have liked a bit more sweetness. Obviously, no texture because you've got soft Weetabix with yogurt and raspberry like compote or whatever it is on top. I'm eating half because Rach is having the other half. I don't dislike it, but I'm not raving about it either. I'm going to go for a 6 out of 10. I'm going to go for a 6 out of 10. Is it worth the calories? 228 calories, 15 grams of protein, a bit of fibre in there. Like I say, the macros in this one aren't bad at all. It's a decent size. It's filling because it's quite stodgy as well. And sometimes the feel of something can make something filling. But I wouldn't buy it again. So if I'm not going to buy it again, I've got to say, yeah, the raspberry wheat biscuit, for me personally, isn't worth the calories. This one I'm quite excited about. Apple Crumble Overnight Oats. And I'm excited about it because I love crunch. I love texture. And I can see there's like a crumble on top. So let's get into this. 220 calories this one. 18 grams of protein. And you get 200 grams again, dear? 200 grams again. So volume's not too bad. Good bit of fibre in this one as well. All right, let's go in. For me personally, delicious. That texture, this crumb actually is quite soft, but the overall taste is lovely. And to just have that for your breakfast, it's 320 calories, which people might be like, well, that's quite a lot of calories compared to something like a protein yogurt. Yeah, but this is 10 times better than a protein yogurt. You're getting a reasonable hit of protein. Like I say, the protein to calorie ratio for me isn't the best in the world. I'd want a bit more, but you know, they're not advertising. Oh no, they are advertising it high protein. But yeah, it's the protein to calorie ratio isn't the best for me, but it's not terrible. It's got a good amount of fibre in it. And it is absolutely delicious. That is a little pot of breakfast joy. I'm giving that badger a 9 out of 10. Is it worth 320 calories for 18 grams of protein, for 6.4 grams of fibre? Absolutely is. Right, from breakfast to lunch, we have got, I've put this on my socials recently, brand new in at ALDI, specially selected warming and hearty cottage pie, because it is that time of year for warming and hearty food. And why I've picked this up is, you know, I've done a few reviews on, you know, protein ready meals that have protein plastered on them. There are some great options out there that don't have protein plastered on them, but are a decent protein to calorie ratio. So this warming and hearty cottage pie is 468 calories for 32.4 grams of protein. Now, I don't know if you might not be able to see it. I have paired it with some tender stem broccoli. I'll put a picture up. I've paired it with some tender stem broccoli, which makes this cottage pie and tender stem broccoli 500 calories for about 37 grams of protein, which for a main meal is good. That's going to be nice and filling, and it's a decent sized portion. There's 400 grams in there, 100 grams of tender stem broccoli. So there's nearly a pound of food on this plate for 500 calories, 37 grams of protein. That's decent. Anyway, I did post this, I think I've already said this, on my social media, and someone did comment saying there's a lot of reds on there. There is. So I'm not saying this is the healthiest meal in the world, but remember, there's no such thing as unhealthy foods. There is just overall unhealthy diet. So if you build in some foods that we might class as being unhealthy into an overall healthy diet, you're all good, basically. So I'm not telling you to eat this every single day as a meal option, but once a week, no issues whatsoever. Why is the saturated fat quite high? Because it's rib. It's slow-cooked beef rib. Rib's a fatty cut. Topped with creamy mashed potato and hand-finished with vintage cheddar cheese. So there's a bit of fat in there. That's why it's high in saturated fat. Ready meals tend to always be quite high in salt. Frozen ready meals tend to be less because salt is a natural preservative, but This is quite high in salt as well. But like I say, I'm not saying eat this every single day, but it is a good option. And it's a bit of a posher option because it is one of the specially selected range. Anyway, enough of that waffling on. The important thing is, does it taste good? So I'm gonna delve in. You can microwave or oven cook it. I can't remember how much it is, but it won't be the cheapest ready meal in the world, but it certainly won't be stupidly expensive. Why? Because it's ALDI, and ALDI is the cheapest supermarket out there. It's dearer than it once was, but it's certainly cheaper than most of the other supermarkets. Anyway, excuse the dog barking in the background. Something's obviously set off. Anyway, this is piping hot. I have microwaved this. You can do it in the oven. I've done it for 11 minutes is what it said. So it's quite a long time, but it is cooked from frozen. Right. I'm hoping this isn't going to burn my trap off. Right, let's stick it in. As always, we have to go for 2. I've tried to get a bit more meat there. I felt like I got a lot of mash with the first one. That is lovely. That is really, really good. I know I'm not the hardest person in the world to please when it comes to food. I absolutely love a cottage pie. I always find ready meals quite bland, even if their salt content is quite high. I would not add any additional salt to that. It doesn't need it. It's good to go off the bat. Now, I didn't get any with cheese on. All right, so let's go in. I'm going to go into the other corner and let's try and get a bit with the cheese on. Thirds up. Oh, yeah. When you get the cheese on there as well. Yeah, absolutely full of flavour. Do you know what? That is really nice. I think sometimes ready meals can be a little bit, you know you're eating a ready meal. Does that make sense? They can be a bit bland and a bit, I'm eating a ready meal, which I know is not going to light everyone's life up. Going for something like this does feel a little bit more luxurious. So, you know, for your lunch, fine. But this, for your tea, nice quick tea option, 10 minutes, come in, bang it in the microwave, 11 minutes or whatever you're going to cook it at. Go and get changed, chuck your comfies on after a long day at work, come back and it's ready to go. Yeah, that's nice. It's not the healthiest thing in the world, but it's fairly low calorie. You've got a pretty decent hit of protein for your calories. It's a decent sized portion, 400 grams. Like I say, pair it with some veg, whack it with a load more veg, to be honest with you. You could have some sprouts with it, some peas. You could do 100 calories worth of veg. That's only 30 calories there. You could do 100 calories worth of veg, and then you'd end up with 800 grams worth of food. Yeah, I like that ALDI. It feels a bit more luxurious than most ready meals. Great this time of year when the weather's a bit colder. And yeah, needing a bit of convenience, as always, doesn't mean you need to blow your calorie allowance. I'm not telling you to eat this every day. Like I say, there are a few red marks on there, but certainly once a week as a more luxurious meal option. Definitely ticks all the boxes for me. Worth the calories. That is definitely getting a thumbs up. That is tasty. I would definitely have that again. And I'm going to give it overall, do you know what? I'm going to give it an 8.2 out of 10. I think it possibly would be a little bit better because you get a crispy top done in the oven. But that kind of takes away that quickness, doesn't it? But it's still very, very good like that. Right? That's my lunch sorted. And in the next worth the calories on this episode, we're going to go back to breakfast. Breakfast time for our next food, and we have got, I don't know if you can see that, I'll put a picture up. I'll also put a picture up of the packet because I've ripped it and I've chucked it in the bin already. Gym Kitchen Protein Pancakes. So hot on the heels of, was it last episode we did the salted caramel new protein pancakes from ALDI? Someone did say on that video, try the Gym Kitchen ones, they are excellent. So I've got the Gym Kitchen maple syrup protein pancakes. Roughly the same calories as the ALDI ones. They're 119 calories for 6.6 grams of protein. As I said about those, I'm not saying these are a great source of protein on their own, but they do make a great base for a high protein breakfast. In this dish here, I've got some 0% fat Greek yogurt with some banana protein powder. I thought that'd go well with the maple syrup and some sliced banana. and some blueberries, some chia seeds, and a bit of honey. Could have gone maple syrup on top, but I've gone honey. I prefer honey to maple syrup. I don't like maple syrup. I prefer honey to maple syrup. Okay. These are £2 a packet, though I think they were £1.50. I got them from Tesco. I think they were £1.50 with the club card. I'm not too sure. So they are a bit dearer than the Aldi ones. One thing I have noticed with them, and you might not be able to see, let me just get a bit of the pancake. It's going to have a bit of honey on it. I can't help that, so I'm not trying it on its own. They are thick. They are thick. Well, I say thick. They're thicker, I think, than the Aldi ones. Anyway, let's give it a go. I've got to give it a go with my concoction. Blueberry, yogurt, banana, honey. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. They are absolutely lovely. Are they any better than the Aldi ones? Personally, for me, I'm going to say no. They're very, very similar. But they're just a different flavour. So obviously we've got banana now at Aldi. We've got salted caramel at Aldi. And we've got maple syrup from Gym Kitchen. They are a little bit dearer. Would I buy these over the Aldi ones if they weren't club card offer? If they were £2 and the Aldi ones I think are £1.39? I'm going to be honest with you, no, I'd rather save 60p. Because they're not that much better, but they are nice. 119 calories, 6.6 grams of protein. So a couple of those, I've only gone for one here, but if you went for a couple, you know, it's going to start your breakfast already off with 13 grams and make a concoction like this, which I'm going to do actually for a recipe vid soon. Show you how I make my protein pancake breakfast. They're nice. Yeah, they're decent. And, I mean, they're not stupidly more expensive than the Aldi ones, are they? They're definitely an option if you fancy a different flavour. I'm going to rate them. I'm thinking here. 8 out of 10. I'm going to give them a good 8 out of 10. And are they worth the calories? Yeah, for me, I think they definitely are. You know, you've got slightly less calories than normal American pancakes, less sugar, more protein. And these ones taste good, so yeah. And they're not stupidly expensive, are they? So yeah, worth the calories. Okay, last one for this episode. We've done breakfast, we've done afternoon snacks, we've done lunches, and now it's time for evening snacks. And we're going in with the Harvest Moon white chocolate and peanut flavoured high protein bar. So I've got this hoping it's going to be a grenade dupe, because the grenade white chocolate salted peanut is in my top 3. In fact, it's number 3 of grenade protein bars. Number 1, chocolate chip salted caramel. Number 2, milk chocolate Oreo. Number 3 is the white chocolate salted peanut. So yes, Aldi, the king of dupes. Yeah, I started doing grenade bar dupes. I have no idea how long this flavour's actually been out. I've only just seen it. I've seen the mint one. I've seen the Jaffa cake one, which is like the Jaffa Quake. But I've never seen this flavour. I spotted it the other day. I've actually picked up 2. I've got the white choc and cookie and the white choc and peanut. Should I do both? I was just going to do one. Should I do both? Because I do love the white choc cookie grenade as well. I might do both. Help if I didn't drop it, wouldn't it? Right. Come on. Let's try this one first. Now I have got to share this with the other half, so I'm not going to go in with the biggest bite in the world. By the way, these are same pretty much as grenade, 224 calories for about 21, 22 grams of protein. Right, let's go. Okay, straight up, it's not as good as a grenade one. Straight up, I'm not gonna try and act like it's not. It's not as good as a grenade one. But I posted these on my social media, and everyone's like, "Oh, the rock hard this." They're not actually. That's really, really nice. It'd be rock hard if you put it in the fridge. It's not bad at all. Now I've only had one bite because, like I say, I'm going to share it with the other half, and I want to finish it off later on. But that is not a bad protein bar at all. It's not the best. I'm not going to say it is, but it's not bad at all. Certainly not mad at it. Not mad at it. Not for £1.59. I'll tell you shortly my overall score. Let's try this little badger. Do you know what? I should get Rach to do the review on these, because Rachel's quite picky with her protein bars. If she says it's a good protein bar, it's a good protein bar. Anyway, this is the white choc cookie flavour. Now that one is close to the grenade one. Again, not as good as a grenade, but individual price of a grenade from a garage or something, it's nearly £3. These are £1, I think 59. I think they're £1.59 each. That is not bad at all. That is better than that. Though the white choc salty peanut is much better. Not much better, but it is definitely better than the white choc cookie grenade version. Okay, let's rate them. That's all right. I started doing this with these videos. I think I've already done it in one of these episodes. Would I buy it again? So, it's not terrible. I'm going to finish it off. Is it anywhere near as good as the grenade one? Absolutely nowhere near. Are there better protein bars in Aldi on offer? Yeah. So, obviously, macro's good. 21 calories. No, 224 calories for 21 grams of protein. But there's better in Aldi because I have had the orange and the mint one and they're decent. And that is decent as well. So, do you know what? For the white choc peanut, not the worst thing in the world and certainly not as bad as a few people have made out when I've posted it on social media. But I'm going to say on this one, I wouldn't buy it again. So for that reason, it's not worth the calories. I'm going to give it a thumbs down. This one is 218 calories for 24 grams of protein. It's not as good as a grenade, but it's not a million miles away. And the fact it's nearly £1.20, £1.30 a bar cheaper, individual price. I know you can get them cheaper if you buy them in boxes and stuff like that. Yeah, I like that. That for me is getting a 6.7 out of 10. This is going to get a 7.5 out of 10. And do you know what? I would buy that again. So, yeah, that is worth the calories. There you go for another episode. What did you think? Anything you're going to try in there? Anything that takes your fancy? Let me know in the comments as always. Make sure you're following, subscribing, doing what you do, getting the real Lost Boss out there. I really appreciate it as always. And until next time, in whichever format you are watching me in, make sure you, yes, you, I'm looking at you, are bossing your weight loss.